Alright, hello, my name is Jasmine, and I am going to try this one last time. Alright, my name is Jazz. I am going to talk to you shortly and briefly about things I've been through. Right now, I'm just going to basically tell you what I went through since I just decided to transition. Well, first, I am openly transgendered. I'm 25 years old. I'll be turning 26 in December. Well, this month on the 26th. On 21st. On 21st. And I am basically just trying to let the world know what I go through on a daily basis. Let's see where to start. Alright, in college, I was the only transgender person that I know of in the school. I believe I was the first one they had there. I was pretty much put in the boys' dormitory. I was basically had a lot of my roommates move out on me. Lots of them, all the time. I had over, five roommates. I had three when I first got to the school. One I had shared a room with. The day I moved in and the day he moved in were the same day. He literally moved out right after he moved in. He literally packed his stuff up again and left. And pretty much that day, I decided to pretty much try going to Boys Town on my own, which is in Chicago, Illinois. I took the red line down there for the first time, and I met two girls there. It was a night where I think it was a bubble party, and two porn stars were going to show up. I believe it was Austin Wilde and Marcus Mojo. I met two girls there at the time, Felicia and her girlfriend at the time, Jessica, who was my best friend. They're both my best friends, but and we kind of hit it off because I was the shy one there, really didn't know what to do or talk to or anything, but they kind of just talked to me, and we kind of just hit it off right off the bat. We started talking. We decided to go outside for a little bit since we had a little bit of time. We asked them if we needed to get stamped or anything before, since it was almost time for them to start charging people. They're like, oh no, you should be fine. So we left and came back, and we went over to Roscoe's first and hung out in there for a little bit, looked around, and then looked at the time and came back. And they told us that we couldn't get in because they started carding, though we were already in there. So we decided to go back to Roscoe's, and we danced for a little bit and had a good time. Felicia just had to work that night, so Jessica was like, oh, we'll just hang out here. You can go home, and I'll see you, see you later. So basically, that's what she did, and we just had a ball. Me and her were dancing and having a good time. It was the first time I was at a gay bar, and I had a blast. We ended up doing that like every weekend. She would always make sure I did my homework, because for a little bit in there, I was like, I should rather just go dancing, have a good time, than go there. She's like, no, work first, then go out. And so that kind of got me into the mantra of making sure my work was done before I went anywhere on the weekend. But shortly after that, my other two roommates that shared a room together, they moved out one by one until it was just me in that dorm room. I was kind of like, what happened? Because me and them were kicking it off, and it was kind of sad how things were working out, but I kind of dealt with it, what I was given. Me and Jessica had a ball. We got to hang out all the time. I got to have her over pretty much every day. She ended up spending a lot of nights over there with me. And I got addicted to, I think it was like Baskin Robbins, because it literally was downstairs. I spent like $50 at the ice cream place in a day. So, that was pretty messed up. But then I kind of I guess the dormitory caught on to that she wasn't. She was over more than a few days in a row overnight, and they banned her. So I had to celebrate. I believe it was Thanksgiving by myself, and it was horrible. I was supposed to go out of town, but that didn't pan out. That person wasn't trustworthy enough for that to go through, so I ended up sitting there miserable by myself. And it was just really bad. Then I moved into the university's center, which is the UC in downtown Chicago, right across the street from Robert Morris. And it was really nice being there. I got to meet a lot of really good people. I met Abigail. I met a girl named Sam who introduced me to Abby. I met a Sparky, who's another one of my really good friends right now. And I just got to meet some wonderful people and just learn to be who I wanted to be. I got to, dress like a woman every day, do my makeup every day. And it was actually quite nice. And after a while, there was people who saw me when I was, when I first got there, I was dressing as a boy, I looked like a boy, but then they saw me as this, and one of them was hitting on me, and at that time I kind of rocked this cheetah print skirt and tube top, and he kind of was checking me out, and I turned around and flipped I had brunette hair at the time, and I flipped my hair and looked at him and said, "You like what you see?" And he took him a second to realize who I was, and he was kind of like conflicted of whether or not to hit on me or to keep going, so he kind of just went like this and kept walking. I cracked up so much. But after a while, I pretty much was dealing with a lot of discrimination between certain of the African community in my school. They were, male-wise, they were being very rude. Some of them weren't, some of them really were. They would call me out and say, "That's a dude," or "a guy," all the time since I was walking down the hall. I tried to just ignore them and just kind of live my life, do what I had to do, go to my classes. But there was this one guy I had a crush on, and he seemed to like me too, but he was too afraid to say anything because of how, the moments when he was about to say something, a bunch of his friends would walk in and he would just hang out with, talk to them and ignore me, and I just kind of just ignored it. But my friend Abby was noticing it, and there was this one girl who I was sitting with at, I believe it was lunchtime, and he walked extremely close to me and kind of brushed me with his hand as he walked past, and then he literally could have walked around my friend and went to the right of me and left without having to go near me, but instead he went right next to me and did it again, and she was like, "Oh hell no." He did that on purpose. But I definitely liked college. It was a very broadening experience for me. I got to walk. I got to meet one of the Biggest Losers winners with my friend Abby, which is in my photos on Facebook, which I loved doing that with her. That was a lot of fun. I got to take a lot of pictures with her. Just got to, at the time I didn't like the way my body looked. I didn't like how I felt like I was gaining weight, but she was looking at me and said, "Honey, no, you look great." And that kind of was like an ego boost for me. I was like, thank you for all the people in the world to say that you were one of the biggest losers, winners, and you told me that I look good. So I took that as a way to kind of work on that self-esteem, become the person I want to be, and don't let anybody bring me down. Now, moving on later on with my life, it's going through the date scene, or Grindr, or you come across these guys who are into this weird, I want to be with a girl with a boy part kind of thing, when you're trying to transition and become a woman, trying to not think about that. You're trying to forget that was there until you know you have the procedure to get rid of it. And they're too much lurking onto that fact that they're trying to wreak a fetish to, you know, have their cake and eat it too. And it's disgusting. It's demeaning. If I mean, I understand if there's women who want to keep that part of them, and I guess the word for it is top for those men. That's fine, but it's confusing the rest of the world of what transgender women are, in my opinion. I'm not saying that for everybody. I'm just saying that in my opinion, it's confusing, and it kind of messed up the dating world, because there's these men that are so conflicted with trying to become submissive and bottoming like a gay guy, and going after women that are trying to transition. Like, there's some of us that just want to be considered a woman and treated like one, not treated like I don't know what the term to use for it, but less than that, or having to deal with the social media and these women or men calling us men, or saying you're a man because you were one biologically. That's disrespectful. I deal with that on my Facebook wall with one of my friends, and I literally look through my feed and see that every time, like when she's talking about Kathleen Jenner, who is an amazing woman. She has gone through a lot, and I'm proud of her. But having to see my friend post that is disrespectful. I told her that. I'm like, you need to watch what you say, because that is beyond disrespectful. You should never ever say that. I've heard one of my friends tell me that to my face, that just because you go through the procedure, you will always be a boy, you will always be a man, regardless of going through this, because that's what you were born with. That is who you are. And I'm like, you're saying that to my face, and that's disrespectful. I don't even know why I know you. Because you thinking like that is the reason why the world is discriminatory. It's the same way when they were talking about gay people being that it's not genetic, it's a choice. No, it's not. We wouldn't choose to be ridiculed. We wouldn't choose to be made fun of or beaten or killed daily. And to have people say stuff to me or other people, or about other people, that we're less than what we are, the way we look or how we are, is beyond wrong. And I just wanted to speak out about it. I just don't like how the world is going. I don't like how men are gone from being, you know, respectful and chivalrous to it's all about sex and drugs and just ignorance. Just because of what we previously were doesn't make us any less of a woman or any less of a human being. They need to learn to just treat us right and treat us as who we are. We're people. We're human beings. You wouldn't like us to tell you you're less than who you are. You wouldn't like us to tell you who you can be or who you cannot be. You wouldn't like us to tell you what you can do or who you can date. So I just wanted to speak about that. So this is kind of the part one of a video I'm going to start doing. I'm going to start talking about my life and things I'm going through. But this is just a little bit of me expressing who I am. Alright, if you have any questions, please post them below and I'll try to answer them in my next video. Alright, bye.